All right, this next one looks interesting. This is question 2, question 2b. So to solve this, and I'm looking at it quizzically, and I don't think this is going to mean, well, I don't think it's going to factorize particularly easily, but let's have a go at it anyway. So I think what we're going to probably end up having to do is either use the quadratic equation or solve by, say, completing the square or other such things. We could do either. Excuse me. But I don't think it's just going to factorize straight out of the box. But let's have a play with it, see how we go and where we land. So I'll restate the problem. Here it is. It's going to be x squared plus 5x plus 2 over 2x. Sorry, x plus 2. All right, x plus 2. Let's kill that little bit on the end there. We don't need that. All that's equal to 3. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually multiply both sides by x plus 2. We want x plus 2 there. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to multiply this side by x plus 2. Multiply this side, of course, by x plus 2. The reason I'm doing that, of course, is because x plus 2 divided by x plus 2 is 1. So I'm left with x squared plus 5x plus 2 is equal to 3x plus 6. So let's have a look. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides and subtract 6 from both sides. And I want this to be equal to 0 on this side. I want it to be equal to 0 because we're going to solve it. So it's a quadratic after all. To solve a quadratic, you need to make it equal to 0. So 5x minus 3 is going to be plus 2x. And 2 minus 6 is going to be negative 4. Well, I'm looking at this, there's no way we can just factorize this normally. And when I say normally, I mean just have brackets with two rational numbers inside. That's not going to work. So, and the reason, of course, is because things that multiply together to give 4 don't add together to give just a 2. So that's not going to play out. All right, so let's solve this. I'm going to do it two different ways. I think the first way would be obvious, would be completing the square, actually. By the way, you can do it on your calculator, and if you've got a graphics calculator or others, there's plenty of calculators that do this, of course, but you could just throw in the coefficients here, and I can just go menu 8, F1, or polynomial F1, there you go. So let's just throw in some numbers here. So I notice the coefficient here is a 1, so I'll put a 1 in there. The coefficient here is a 2, put a 2 in there. The coefficient here is a negative 4, put a negative 4, and let's see what happens. So solve it, and I get 1.236 and negative 3.236. So that's where we're headed. I'll leave that on the calculator and see where we end up if I complete the square. So completing the square, nice and simple. First of all, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So I'm going to now have x squared plus 2x is equal to 4. I'm going to take the b term and add it to both sides. I'm going to halve it on both sides. And I'm going to square the thing I halved. Now we've completed the square. But of course, we have nothing to show for x. So now we can go ahead and we can do this. I can write an x in here, and I can write the contents of the value of inside the brackets. That's a 2 over 2 is 1, so I'm going to put a plus 1. If it's negative 1, I put negative 1, or whatever the value is. It's equal to 4. Well, 2 over 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1, and 4 and 1 is 5. There it is. So now I can go ahead and I can square both, find the square root of both sides. Find the square of this side, find the square of this side. I'll put a plus and minus in front of it. So now I've got x plus 1 is equal to plus or minus root 5. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. There it is. So x is equal to negative 1 plus root 5, or negative 1 minus root 5. And let's see where that comes to. So I'm just going to go x menu as well. Here we go, and just type in all that. So I've got I'm going to type this bit here. Negative 1 plus root 5. Here we go. So I've got negative 1 plus square root of 5. And I get 1.236. Let's see. Should I do? Yeah, I'm gonna keep it to 3dp here because this rounds this bit up, and I think we should keep it to 3. Beyond there, nothing much happens. So I'm gonna say equals 1.236, and I'm gonna put here 3dp, or x equals, so it's going to be -1. Here we go. -1 minus root 5 is -3.236. -3.236. And again, that's 3dp. So there are two solutions. Now you could, of course, do the whole thing using the quadratic equation. I've run out of room here. I've got nothing left. I'll let you do that. But certainly there's no problem with taking what you've got here, in fact. So in other words, I'll just show you briefly what you're going to be doing. So you could say I've got x squared plus 2x minus 4. So a is 1, b is 2, and c is -4. And throw all of that into... in fact, let's just do it. We've got a bit of room here. We can, if I squeeze it in, we'll probably be all right. I'll use a sharper pencil. Here we go. So let's go. So we're going to put it into minus. So x is going to equal minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Here it is. Let's substitute everything. It equals -b is -2 plus or minus root b squared. That's going to be 4 minus 4 times a, which is 1, times -4. There it is, all over 2 times 1 is 2, equals. So I got -2, and I'm going to do it in 2 goes. Let's see. No, we'll do it. Let's go plus or minus. I'll put plus or minus this time as well. Here we go. 4 minus 4 times 4 is 16. So I'm going to go plus 16 over 2. Well, 4 and 6 is 20. So it's going to be is equal to -2 plus root 20 all over 2, or -2 minus root 20 all over 2. Now I'm aware that I could just go 2 divided by 2 is -1. And I could also write this as a surd. I could say, well, this is going to be 4 root 2. Square root of, that's going to be 4 times 5. So it's 2 root 5. Yeah, we could actually just go ahead and do that. But I'm just going to use what we've got here. So this one here is equal to, and let's just see what we've got here. So we've got -2. So I'll just see if we get to the same place. So we've got -2. So I'm just going to do this one here first. Plus root 20. Yep. And I'm going to take the whole thing, I'm going to divide it by 2. And I get 1.236, and here it is 1.236. So I do get the same thing. So I got is 1.236, or, and I'll do the same thing with the negative here. So here it is. We're going to have, -2. I'll do, again, I'm doing this one here. Yeah. So -2 minus root 20 is negative that thing there. I'm just going to divide that by 2. Divide by 2 is -3.236, which is this one right here, which equals -3.236. Again, and you want to put in here 3dp. 3dp must always express the accuracy with which the answer is expressed. And they would be my answers. You've got your or statement, and then you must have your or. But apart from that, that's 2 different ways of approaching the same question. Hopefully that makes sense.